Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. Hello, Geek Out group. I'm Susan.
I'm Andrea. This is Gabby.
Andrea. And we have a guest, Gabby. I cannot point.
Gabby. She's
Gabby.
our resident. Yes, she's our resident 2.0 expert who has decided to grace us with her presence today.
How is everyone doing today? I am jumping in, make sure we are good. Hopefully our sound is good. Jerry's here. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
We are going to. We have some big news. If you guys haven't heard about it yet, we're gonna share. Oh, Ivy's here. Hey, Ivy. And we're gonna show some stuff, but not too much stuff because we are not allowed to, per ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson's request, not allowed to show the back end of 2.0 yet, and we are going to respect that. But we are going to show the front end.
Hey, Elizabeth.
So that'll come later.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we've been given permission to share the creations, just not the editor.
Yes. Yeah. So Andrea, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
And Andrea, if you want to like tell a whole story, that's fine.
No, go. Yeah.
Basically, last week was the 2CCX event that was in Cancun, Mexico. Andrea is in 2CCX, so she was there. And they were all given the news. I'm totally was not there, so I'm just going off of what I've heard. Given the news that they were all going to be getting access the following week, meaning this week, to being able to build first pages, which is the funnel hub, in 2.0. So that access started to be given. What was it? Wednesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep.
And so that has been getting into the hands of 2CCX members. So Andrea here has access. I have not been able to go in and play on it yet, but my client of mine that is in 2CCX just got access today. So I am like chomping at the bit to go and start building her funnel hub for her. But Andrea, you want to tell them like what you did yesterday?
Sure. Yeah. So, we've been diving in, and similar to 1.0, how, you could like look at every page and every element. And like, I think that's really where you start to understand how to really make ClickFunnels bend your will. And then I also think that, Susan, you and I both come from design hacking. And so we have, I think, a really good mental model framework of how ClickFunnels 1.0 works because of what Catherine gave us through design hacking. So in 2.0, I've been trying to do the same of like, okay, what is what I call mental model, or what's the architecture of 2.0, so that we can start to understand like, okay, this relates to that. Okay, this relates to that. This is like, so we've been diving into that. And then the Funnel Hub Challenge is on right now, and he is giving away this amazing like Napoleon Hill thing. The funny part is that I don't necessarily so much care about the gift. I just like, I love the challenge of the funnel hub. So, so that's the game on. And then Mike and AJ, he brought those guys in as the creators of Funnel Hub to kind of talk about the strategy of a funnel hub. So, and if anybody in here is listening and doesn't understand the strategy of Funnel Hub, I highly recommend that you Susan and I did, maybe we could post it, Susan, where we talked about what is the strategy? Because I think it's really important that you understand that before you start building. So again, the framework of like, okay, this is like the structure of a funnel hub page, the home page, the about page, the media page, and how they all connect, because it's all related to expert secrets. And it's very strategic in terms of how you build these. I think if you approach it like I'm building a website, you can, but I honestly think that you're just like taking away the value of what ClickFunnels can actually do for you when you start going down the path. But, so I've been busy and then touching every element, clicking on every button, trying to figure out like, how the heck does this thing work? So yes, that's what I've been busy doing. But, the first place we started is that, So with journey crafting, we've been toying around with building our own hub. We've done about 20 of them for clients. And so we've been playing around with building our own. And of course, because we are a design agency, we wanted to make it, break the mold, push the envelope a little bit. And it wasn't yet done, but we're like, hey, what if we start there and trying to build that in 2.0? So I have that to share, kind of the 1.0, 2.0 comparison.
Awesome. Okay. Let's definitely look at that. So I'm going to be like the rest of you watching. I'm going to just like ask questions in the comments. I'm going to try to come up with questions too that I'm curious about as Andrea is showing us and kind of telling us about her experience of building what she's already built in 1.0 and then building it in 2.0. So
yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen. On the right side is 1.0. On the left side is 2.0.
Sorry, hold on. I have audio playing that you guys can probably hear. Real quick before you go into that, Gary in the comments was asking when will us normal people get 2.0? Gary, it depends. Were you at FHL and did you sign up for 2.0 at FHL? If that is the case, then my guess is probably within the next month, we might start getting access to it. If you are not in that early beta group of signing up at FHL, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be, it's probably months from now. Is my guess for that. Would you agree, Andrea? Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think, but in the meantime, Gary, stay tuned, because I'm hoping that when they open it up for beta, maybe they would let us start to show the editor more. Maybe, I don't know, but we're committed to show you everything and answer anything that we can in this group. So as far as ClickFunnels will allow us to do. So, and then also, Susan, I have to say, when I made that post and like, as we were talking about, one thing I hated about Clubhouse is I hate the, you have to be cool enough to get in feeling, you know what I mean? Like you have to know the right people, have the secret handshake. So, and I don't like that feeling. Like it feels really exclusive. I don't like it, now putting my tech dev hat on, it's critical just to manage the bugs and the craziness as you start to unleash it onto the masses. Yeah. So, but I was really torn in terms of, it just is not a great feeling, when you have a community that really wants in and they can't get in.
Yeah. And I think, me being an outsider to the in crowd right now, and I know Dan's in the comments and he also is probably feeling that way. And any of the rest of you might be feeling this way too, of what I have to go and be part of that program to be able to get access. But really, like Andrew was just saying, it really comes down to they have to limit it to how many people can be in it right now. And Dan, you might be able to back this up. I don't know if they have maybe moved from a while back. He was talking about how it's on a smaller server in some, the way that I understand it. I'm not going to get technical because I don't understand it, but they have it on a smaller server right now. So they can't even handle all of the people that have probably signed up to beta. They may have moved that by now. I don't know. But there's that. And then also I think that they can be more trusting of the people that are into CCX right now, because if they're not ready for the back end to be out in the world, their inner circle, Russell's inner circle and 2CCX people are there to they don't want to get into the, the naughty list of ClickFunnels and Russell, right? So they're going to be more trustworthy to not let things go out yet. And, they can't probably say that for everyone who's going to be in the larger beta group.
Loyal. I mean, I think another thing is we're fiercely loyal. And so it's if things are buggy or whatever, they're going to get a whole lot of grace from. Yeah,
they're still definitely in the phase of trying to weed out bugs before they release it to more people, which is the larger beta group that is the rest of us that were at FHL. Okay. Yeah. I think
and Dan mentioned, based on bug fixes. I totally agree, Dan. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what you're seeing on my screen on the right side is 1.0 and on the left side is 2.0. So just to wiggle it, this is 1.0. This is 2.0. Okay. And again, with 1.0, we know that we have sections, rows, columns, and elements. We know that this is the structure of any page, and we're always working in that structure. And I think even from my own education, which Dan has really been a huge contributing part of that, is like, okay, well, how do they connect to each other? So we know, and I'm going to use Dan's analogy, like if you have a section on top and you have a section down below, the section below always comes over top the one above it, right? Like things like this that we know is how it works. It seems like 2.0 is similar. So we have, and this is, I'm also, just for full transparency, I am violating some of the funnel hub structure elements. And I'm doing that a little intentionally just to push the envelope, but I'll go into that later. So, so this is where, you have your big hero. And so this is, this first section up here is a section. And then same on 2.0. Now, super nice is that on 1.0, this little, these elements and this section would have had to been something that we routinely update on every single page of the hub. And so now over on 2.0, this is the famous universal section, which is super nice. And you can automatically see just some interaction there. That's really nice as well. That again, we didn't have to do anything extra coding, which normally we would have in order to get this kind of functionality. So that part, this universal, which we've been talking about, the universal element, it is definitely nice, of like, okay, it's all pre-programmed and just like goes right in there. So that's nice. And then same, we haven't yet figured out, you can see that over here, the font is different on the right side than the left, because I haven't yet figured out how to upload custom fonts. I know it's possible, and I'm 100% confident that Dan will figure out how to do that. But I haven't figured it out just yet. Yeah. Okay. So Dan's saying that the HTML is virtually identical, so it should interact the same way in terms of the sections going over top, which is awesome. So yes, I haven't figured out how to upload our custom font in there yet. You can see that it's very different, just because we haven't figured out how to do that yet. But I'm sure we will. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. Just some other, interesting little nuances is that, so the 2.0 is much better at responsive design. I think Susan and I were just chatting before we went live. And I think you agree with me on this one, Susan. I think the single biggest challenge in creating really great experiences with funnels is being able to do that on all platforms. And because it's not very responsive. And I don't know how many times I've talked to clients and said, look, we're just giving up iPad users. We're just gonna, sorry, your experience is gonna suffer. It's not worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze for the percentage of market you hold.
Yeah. So like the device sizes, like there's only so much catering we can do to all of the possible device sizes out there. So I think that's what you mean, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Whereas now with 2.0, I think it's handling those a lot better. And so you can even see, like, as I resize, like it's doing a much better job of just like wrapping that text versus, we still would have to do some programming in order for this to wrap a little bit better. You can see like let me scroll down. So right there, like it just, we turn kind of doesn't really scale with it very well. So it gets, just a little bit more.
Can you do the 2.0 one again?
Yeah, versus 2.0. Let's check it out. Like you can see that into experiences that engage, like that's funky. Like there's a little bit of, looks like it doesn't quite go there yet. Yeah. So maybe I spoke too soon in terms of the, well, actually, let's do, oh no, do you see the experiences?
Yes.
That's the thing that Dan was talking about that he was going to help us fix of like, how do we make sure that the text always wraps? Let's do 1.0 again. And let me do this.
Yeah, 1.0. It did it for just a little bit before it went to just the smaller.
Second. But
that also might be because you have fewer words. You don't have that engage part. So that might be affecting, like it was able to shrink more before you got to the mobile threshold.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, and you can see
and the
like
font's different.
The sections too. Like if you look at section 1 up on the what experiences are you creating for your humans? You can see like we haven't set a background color on it. So that blue that pops through right there, I think is the default background color, which we haven't fixed yet. Versus here, it doesn't do like that section scales. Now we're using a bit of code from Dan to get that to scale better. So it probably is more accurate if I go in and take out that code to see how that scales. But you can see
And
that
if your background was white on 2.0, it probably wouldn't be noticeable to be that much different.
Yeah. You can see, like, do you see the little yellow dot there though? It seems like the sections just like they keep the container, if that makes sense, on 1.0. Like all the elements inside section 1 stay inside section 1 even when I adjust it, versus if I've overrun 2.0, it's like, do you see how they come outside of the container? Or I can't tell if the section container or if it's the, because this is that is a background image.
I think it's just your background is getting narrower, and it's not the height isn't high enough
right
to fill it in when it gets narrower.
Yeah, versus
whereas your other one has white background probably to fill in the gap.
Yeah. Well, and we also, in its defense, we have a little bit of code on this one to keep the viewport height where it needs to be. So, yeah, so that's interesting because like the promise of 2.0 being more responsive.
It's not quite there yet.
Nope, not quite.
It's definitely still something they need to work on.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's see what Dan's saying because he's probably.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll take a pause
Ben
and see
Dan.
what happens. Okay. So
welcome, Ben.
Custom fonts. You do it just like you did on the AQ site. AQ is a project Dan and I are working on. Hey Ben, welcome. Dan said responsive text based on viewport width can be built into 2.0 quite nicely. Perfect. Dan, you're a wizard. Yo, wizard Harry. All right. Amen. The background for the section needs to match the background color of the image. Yep. Agree, Matt, Ben. Yeah. Yep. Cool. And then, hey, Ella, so glad you can join us. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, let's keep exploring. So, this is one we noticed we can't upload GIFs yet. So, I hope I can say this. I don't think this is in violation, but, so the, in most more progressive SaaS companies, they have things called like Stack Overflow, which is a forum where the community can come and upvote or downvote features that they want to see. So the coolest thing about 2.0 is that they're going to have that. They already do for all the people in there. So we can go in there and there's already been some votes. And so I submitted we want a GIF update upload. So hopefully fingers crossed. And it did get a couple votes. So that part is like, I really love that. I think it's what more progressive SaaS and platform as a service companies are doing. And so I'm really excited to see ClickFunnels do that.
That is awesome.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So some other things that I haven't quite figured out on this one is you can see like this is where we're trying to, play with this, but because we can't upload GIFs, we might just need to make these into like movies and see. And plus it's kind of busy. So we were debating whether to keep it or not. But and
I bet Dan can code. Dan's gonna be in the comments. You can do this with code, like just have your pictures switch on a timer or whatever.
Yes. Hey, Ben, I can send you the exact link to the voting system. It is in the original wizard when you first log in. Down at the bottom, it says something like, do you want to see a feature? Come check it out or something. But I can send you the direct link after I'm off here. Okay, so yes, and so the other thing here is you can see that we're intentionally playing with like the background and the foreground in terms of like the boxes and the text is over on the left side of that visual. And so we haven't quite figured out how to kind of manipulate that yet in 2.0. So that one is still there. And then this is another one. So this is a third-party integration, Elf Sites with their testimonials. Amazing tool if you don't have it. And I know a GIF is so much easier. I agree, Dan. So we just have to figure out how to upload a GIF. Yes, true. So that is not working. So so on this page on the right, we have two third-party integrations. I have my Calendly embed and I have Elf Sites testimonials. And so this is again just a really nice little player that Elf Site does that you could just plug and play as a third party, and you could just load up all of your movies, which is really nice. Or they also have like slider testimonials. Anyway, it's an amazing tool. But we haven't played around yet with the third-party integration widget on 2.0. So that we haven't done yet. Same, like if you look over here, we're doing some creative things, again, code that Dan has given us in terms of like pushing things off the screen. So it's like coming in. So haven't quite figured out how to do that yet on 2.0. So that one will have to be coming soon. And then let's see, third party integration, haven't figured out how to do that one yet. And then over here again on the right side, like pushing stuff off to the right. We can always manipulate the image, so that it hangs off on the right side, but that is a little bit more difficult than using Dan's code to like manipulate it off onto the right.
Yeah. And I'm just going to interject a little bit. Andrea keeps saying like, haven't figured that out yet. Not because it's going to be particularly difficult to do, but you literally just spent like the time to just like quickly build this yesterday. Yes. You didn't spend time on trying to do all of the extra stuff. So not that it's going to be difficult, more, trickier than 1.0. It's just that she hasn't done it yet.
Yeah. And I have to give a giant shout out to Nicole. So she's my lead designer and builder on my team. She's a genius. And so she really deserves the credit for this carryover. And it took her, I'll get an exact number, but at least all I know is, so she lives in South Africa. So, I work during the day, she works during our nighttime, and we just are always doing a baton handoff at night in the morning. And so it basically took about 24 hours from, and of course that's not like straight, but just to convert like, hey, let's do a first pass. Let's get everything we have over on 1.0 over to 2.0 for our hub. It was like 24 hours and we're up and running. So just to give you a frame of reference of, we're seeing a lot of comments of like, oh my gosh, I have to rebuild everything from 1.0 to 2.0. I actually don't think it's going to be that hard to transfer over because a lot of the same conventions around sections, columns, rows, elements are there. I think we're going to be okay in terms of that carryover. So
yeah, it is a little bit like, it would be a lot more convenient if there was a way to just like import it. But I understand, I don't understand it enough, but I understand why that may not be possible because it's a totally different platform.
Yeah.
That it's built on.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, so that is at least my journey so far in terms of what we can show. And I think so. And I think, again, the things that you see over in 2.0 are like the basic build principles. Like we haven't done any of the fancy stuff yet. And again, we were able to do that pretty quickly with some additional little like nice features. So for instance, like you can see these buttons, these are global buttons. I didn't have to add those, you know what I mean, one at a time. It was so nice. We just like we did the style guide with all the journey crafting branding. And then we created the buttons with all of our branding. And it was like, bada bing, bada boom, good. Same with like the image. These are all like universal. So that's like glow thing. So we didn't have to redo this on every single one or copy and paste or whatever that nonsense is, right? Like you can see this button is exactly the same as the button above. It was so easier.
That's huge for consistency because like there'll be people have a funnel page where like the button shape and shadowing is totally different on the next page in the funnel than it was on the first one. And it's like, it's an easy fix, but also like, it's just really inconvenient. And you're like, I don't remember how I set this on my other page. I'm just going to set it like this on this page.
Exactly. Or like even just pointing out stuff like this. So like this glow on this image, this was a preset thing that we did in our style guide. And before, like if I were to do this in 1.0, this is CSS code that I'd have to add in order to do that, right? Or even just like this button, for the button to have a really nice border that I get to control the width of that border and the like shadowing of it. That's CSS code. I didn't have to do any of that. It's all custom it was just pre-made in the style guide. So, which was awesome. Yeah, like those things are such time savers. And again, to your point, Susan, just the consistency of it. Plus it felt, I don't know if this is like my design heart, but like I loved making the style guide. Loved it. Like, it was like, oh, I'm back home. Like, this is so great. Cause like, I don't know what you guys do, but in our business, like we have Canva files, like we have a brand guide for every single client. And it's kind of a requirement in order for us to go forward. Like we're always referencing back to the brand guide. And so just to be able to have that right there and not have to like always go back and reference the brand guide was glorious. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just these little things, right? It's these little things that we didn't really like, we could be fine without them, we were all surviving, we were all building businesses and helping our clients, but like it just makes it so much easier and such like a time saver. And it was quick to build funnels before, but when you have these things that you can just preset and just run with it, drop the button in, boom, it's already designed the way that I want it designed. Like so easy. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Yep. And just for that better experience is just so worth it. So worth it. Yeah. So and also just like little things like having these interactions here, where like the mouse hover, the line goes over, there's something I can do with that thing, right? Like these are very common website-y things that now are, baked in, which is just so dang cool.
Yes, because that's something like with the navigation element in 1.0 doesn't function that way, right? Like you have to like, I remember always underlining the words to make them look like they're clickable, but it wasn't like interactive in that way, dynamic with the mouse hover and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna try to look up another one that I did to see, just to confirm on that.
I could be remembering wrong. I usually don't use that element, so
this is another funnel hub that we did, and you can see here.
Yeah, it's like can I click this or not?
Right.
So like, is this link broken? Because it's not functioning the way that we're all used to it, a link functioning.
Exactly. Like my mouse changes, but does it work? And so again, like you could see, like if we were to put this one over, that didn't have quite as many things as my other one. The only thing in here that's complicated is maybe like the third-party else sites, to see if that still works. But I think there's no reason why it shouldn't. Oh, that's interesting. Client came in and changed the visual. You can always tell.
Don't you love that? And then it's like, no, you did it wrong. Let me do it.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. And then again, like this is the third party integration with her Instagram. Again, we'll, TBD on that one.
Yeah.
And the other thing on here that I haven't played around with yet, because I haven't even started playing with the input fields, is like, this is connected to ActiveCampaign in order for them to sign up for a newsletter. So that's my next step in starting to play around with, 2.0. is like, do they give us input fields on the funnel hub, in order to do things like that? So we will hopefully, by when we meet next, I will have answers to all of these, or at least be able to show like, yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
And we can do that. So
yeah. Awesome. I love it so far. Like, I know there's still a long ways to go, and there's probably, Dan said there's tons of bugs. So, but it's closer. It's like a real thing now.
Yep,
it's in someone's hands, even if it's not mine.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It's in
Awesome.
someone's hands. Yeah. Yeah.
So next week we will probably just be back reporting back in on like other things that we have discovered. I will by that point have been able to build a funnel hub, and we can look at that one further too. Dan, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say too. Hey Tad. I think what Dan say? The menu element yet. I have to get to that. Yeah. So the one thing I was going to say, Susan, too, and again, it's this weird space in terms of we don't want to be exclusive, but we also want to honor what ClickFunnels is trying to do. So one thing, I was thinking about is like having, if you do have access to 2.0 and you want to geek out even deeper, you know what I mean? Like where we can actually geek out on the editor, maybe that's something where we could do like, like a special session for those people who are just wanting to do that. And I do that. And I say that with the vein of a hope that what we learn in there, we can continue to feedback, so that like the people who are able to get in there and go a little bit, further, we can quickly bring the people along, when they're able to get access.
I love that idea. So maybe we can set up an event. You guys let us know if you're interested. Those of you in here that do have access currently, let us know in the comments if that would be something you want to do. We can like have a scheduled time. We can all just meet up on Zoom. Nothing that we would be streaming to respect the ClickFunnels wishes. But we can just kind of geek out and look at and find the things that need to be reported. We'll be doing it as a service to ClickFunnels, and maybe come up with cool things along the way.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
I love that. All right. We will figure out a time we can set that up, and that'll be so awesome. Okay.
Awesome. Cool. All right.
Thanks, Andrea, for showing us that to us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And it's official. We're officially out in the wild. So here we go.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, we will be back next week with more stuff.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys.